Yeah. Okay, I have a bit of a question here. So recently I've been hearing that Titanfall is going through a bit of a hassle here.
Hmm.
Now Apex and Titanfall, they're hacking each other. It's strange that this is a big deal, but yet I don't see much coverage in it from much journalists. Why is that? Do you think that'd be like a good juicy story to talk
Beats
about?
it beats me. I mean, the video I did on the hacker that was like basically single-handedly he destroyed. He already killed Titanfall, the original game. It's dead. And then Titanfall 2, he's working on killing that, and he's making progress. Like it might happen. So the video I did on that was like my most popular video this year. I don't know, like 600, 700,000 views. And it's like way more popular than the other stuff I do. And it was like a really interesting thing. I mean, this hacker is meticulous and he's been at this for years. And it's really interesting. So I have absolutely no idea why wider media hasn't picked it up. The only thing they picked up was the hack of Apex Legends. They didn't, this was never discussed. Nothing about the Titanfall stuff. I mean, maybe like a couple years ago, I think there were a few articles from like PC Games. But like nothing about the current Titanfall situation, nothing about the hacker. But then as soon as Apex Legends got hacked, there was like a flurry of articles like, oh, on the 4th of July, Apex Legends got hacked and it said save Titanfall and it was a redirect. And it was really surface level stuff too. Like nobody went deeper. There was no like analysis of how this has been happening, how Titanfall 1 is dead, how the community is going back and forth, how the website that was linked to says we didn't do it, right? So we don't even know who did it, and it probably caused more damage than it did help. So it's an interesting story. I actually have no idea why there hasn't been more
Oh,
coverage.
wow. Even Young Yeah gave me the impression that the fucking people that made the website were the ones behind the strike, and I just learned this fact
Oh yeah,
that
no. They put up a thing on their website within like 2 hours, I think it was, with like literally within a couple hours of the hack that said we did not do this. Like we are not the ones responsible. And since then, I actually published a video about this. But since then, I've talked to more people in that community, and yeah, they didn't do it. Most of the people in the Titanfall community 1 and 2 are just trying to clear their name now. They're like, yeah, we didn't do this. We're sorry. Like we would not do that. We don't know why it happened. We did not organize this. I think it was just some rogue element in the Titanfall 1 community who just got sick of waiting because Respawn isn't acting on it. But yeah, they were not responsible at all. They were actually like really sad that it happened because they think it's going to damage their cause.
I mean it might as well, considering the whole considering how this hacker essentially kept redirecting and inconveniencing people over Apex Legends,
Hmm.
and a lot of people will consider this a dead game, which, by the way, is maybe the reason why the games media didn't actually cover it that much, because at this point it's considered a dead game, and the things that the media wants to talk about are the current games.
Yeah, the
I
thing
don't.
that got me is that they're selling it. So even then, Titanfall 1, it's completely dead, but because he killed it on PC. And then Titanfall 2, though, I mean, it's got like 9,000, 10,000 concurrent players. Like it's definitely still functional. But
I actually did play Titanfall 2 the other day, and I noticed it was getting like really unstable at times. Like it was disconnecting and stuff, and it wasn't our connections. So I'm starting to wonder if there's something going on with the servers and stuff.
it could be. So what the hacker does, is he's created this blacklist, and somehow he's gotten into the Striker engine. I think the Striker matchmaking engine that Respawn uses somehow, because using a VPN doesn't work. If you're on this blacklist, whenever you join a game, your ping goes to 9999 and you disconnect. It doesn't work to use a VPN. It doesn't work to use a separate game client. Somehow, once he's got you, once you're on that list, you're done. As soon as you join a game, everybody in your game crashes, including you. And I don't know if he's expanded that. And there's like a lot of different ways that he would do this. One time he would use names that had like 10,000 Chinese characters, and then it would just crash the server because the game didn't know how to read that many things, and for a lot of complex reasons, it would just like destroy everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that
yeah, go ahead.
that sounds almost like what happened because it seemed like the server just crashed, like everything just died, and we got disconnected. You know?
Yeah, so it could be that somebody in your game was on this blacklist, which, as far as I know, is
Yeah.
still functioning, and he's still improving on it. The hackers is John Yu, and I'm pretty sure I actually have the identity of the hacker. I got sent, like, this anonymous source sent me this huge packet of information with like court records, phone numbers, addresses, text messages, phone recording, like all sorts of stuff.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so I'm like pretty sure I know who it is. And they sent me text messages that basically seemed to confirm that they were talking to the hacker, and the hacker was acknowledging that this is them and that now everybody knows who they are. But I wasn't positive, and I don't really know what to do with it. Like, I'm not going to post it publicly. That's because even if there's a 1% chance, like, I can't do that. But then nobody's going to really, like, I'm not going to give it to Respawn, I don't think. Because what would they do? What are they going to do? Send the Nintendo Ninja type thing? What are they going to pull a Rockstar Games and send people to his door like they did with modders? I don't know. So I'm like actually kind of mulling that over to this day. I don't exactly know what to do with that.
That is an interesting predicament you're in.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a right answer, to be honest.
Honestly, couldn't you, like, just a pitch, couldn't you, like, release all the other information except for the hacker's address and name?
Maybe, because I don't know how I would...
Yeah, this is a very tricky...
Because, like, it's previous activity. It's previous internet activity, court records, and then, like, full-on audio phone call. Oh, yeah, I think there's a couple of those. And then there's a whole bunch of text. So, yeah, I couldn't release number or address or name or anything like that. But then I don't know what the point of releasing it is, because no one would be able to do anything. It's a really strange situation. I've basically been sleeping on it this whole time. Like, I don't exactly know. Like, I showed a blurred version in the video. I was like, yeah, like, I have this thing, and I'm kind of hoping that the hacker would just give up. Because, I mean, it's been years, and now all the scrutiny's coming down. I'm kind of hoping he just, like, backs off. But, I mean, so far, he's been really, really, really meticulous and dedicated to this.
But
something that I've been meaning to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's related to the EA leak? Like the one that basically leaked even the source code of Frostbite? Before anybody comments that this has just happened recently and the Titanfall shit has been happening since before, I want to comment on another data breach that I got to fucking break, which is the Equifax the Equifax data breach, which essentially in broad strokes is actually more the information, the credit card information of tons of Americans, I think around 1.6 million Americans, was essentially exposed to the world by a group of hackers. And what happened was that essentially the hack happened in September of the last year before I covered it, but they decided to disclose it, like sort of disclose it in May of the same year.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I asked if it could be related to the hack is maybe it's the same thing where
EA didn't disclose it until now, but it happened way before.
Exactly. That's what I think could have happened.
Maybe. Honestly, I couldn't rule it out. I don't know exactly what was leaked. I know that there was the leak, and I read a little bit about it, but I don't know what got breached. Because, like, the Striker matchmaking engine is cloud-based. I think it's called Striker or Strider. It's cloud-based and has dynamic IPs, which is what makes it really troubling that he's able to get into this degree and cause this much damage. So if the hack happened, if the hack involved anything from Respawn and like their matchmaking systems or like how they construct the game source code for Titanfall, then maybe. I definitely wouldn't be comfortable ruling it out at all because he's got a level of access. It seems like he has a level of access that goes well beyond what like a normal script kiddie can do. Like your average person that looks up YouTube tutorials on how to DDoS is not going to be able to do this. This took years and years of dedicated work exploring the engine, finding vulnerabilities, and then exploiting them, and only getting better with time. Like this is so far beyond what like the average person is capable of. That's why I would believe if EA didn't disclose it and then it happened to contain something from Respawn and that was what allowed him to get in, yeah, possibly.
I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened. I'm just saying that I'm just speculating that it could have been what happened.
Yeah, and at this point, it's anything. Speculation is fun at this point because we don't actually know how or why. Because Respawn won't talk about it. Every time somebody says like, "Oh, okay, can you address the stuff with Titanfall?" They get ghosted. Even people that are like community leaders and have organized events or flown out to Respawn, if they try and bring this up and talk to Respawn, as far as I know from the people I've talked to, they'll just get real quiet. And I don't know if they've been told like don't talk about these issues, but that's weird to me that they're getting that quiet that quickly every single time it's brought up.
That
So
is kind of suspicious, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think? Okay, so it's been known now that EA has terrible security systems. They have terrible. Do you think if they were to improve that, this would fix Titanfall in a way, or is Titanfall its own issue?
I think it's probably its own issue in the sense that like EA has the Frostbite engine, right? And some of their security problems with whatever they use for their launcher, with their individual games, those are going to be isolated. So I don't know if like EA overhauling their systems would fix it, but it's definitely possible to put the resources in and fix the Titanfall games. Like it is possible. They're choosing not to. Now, I don't know how much it would take. It's cost benefit analysis, right? So maybe them putting in all the money and the time to fix it just isn't worth it because they'll never recoup that money in sales ever. In which case, I understand why they're not doing it, but it is a choice to not do it. And they're selling it on the Steam store. And it's not like, at least for the original game, it is flat out not functional on PC. You buy the game, you cannot play. Every single public server is populated with bots from the hacker. So you buy the $20 game and you cannot play on PC. So the fact that they're still selling that, it's like, this is happening. You've known for like a year. You've chosen not to fix it and you're still selling the game. Like, why is that allowed to continue?
I want to point out something real quick. Yeah, low security standards. Yeah, that's also what happened in Equifax. In fact, the security was so lackluster that a music major was actually the head of security.
A music major?
What? Wait, what?
Yes, I'm not actually making this shit up.
No, you have to pull our legs. You have to.
No,
That's bullshit.
I believe it or not, no. I really wish I was kidding, but no. Equifax hired a literal music major as a chief security officer.
Oh my
wow.
God.
Wow.
I was one of the first people to fucking cover it. I'm not gonna say their name, but they had a bachelor's degree and a master of fine arts degree in music composition from the University of Georgia, according to their LinkedIn profile, and they really had no other education related to technology or security. In other words, the least qualified person to be in the position of chief of security was assigned to the position of chief of security. So, again, do you see why I'm making the comparison between Equifax and EA? If a huge, multi-billion security credit thing, as in multinational company, has this kind of lackluster security and reported the leak way after the fact, mostly to do insider trading and other crimes. Why do you think I'm making the same comparison to a smaller company like EA? Like not small in the sense that it's too small or microscopic, in the sense that it's smaller than Equifax.
Well, yeah, they also don't handle credit card information too. So like there should be a really high bar to clear for Equifax to have awesome security. They're handling sensitive information, financial information, so they should probably have really good security. So if they don't even have it, and they have a music major as their head of security, then who knows? That could be. I would shudder to think of what EA has. Then again, they work in the video game space, and there's like a lot more of a technological focus. So maybe they would have better. I don't know. But then again, I never trust what I hear about EA these days because you never know with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.